2016 is over, and now it's a new year with new movies coming out soon. And we're going to give you our top 10 most anticipated movies. And at the end, we might throw in some movies that just didn't quite make the cut that we're not really that excited about.
My number 10 is The Book of Love, and I'm really excited about this movie. I think it's one of those that's not quite going to be a blockbuster, but I'm interested to see it because it's about this architect who's kind of down in the dumps after his wife gets killed, and he helps this homeless girl who he discovers is making a raft. Now, there's not too much more information, but the trailer looks really good, and I'm excited to see Jason Sudeikis in a film like this, because normally you think of him as, you know, the comedian from Saturday Night Live, but he's going to be in a serious, somewhat serious role in this, and I'm excited to see it.
My number 10 is Kong Skull Island. I'm excited for this movie because I kind of liked Godzilla, and this is a continuation of that universe. It's supposed to be set before that, I think in the 70s, and it stars Tom Hiddleston, John Goodman, and Samuel L. Jackson in this movie, and it looks pretty good. Kong looks really big, and I'm just excited to see where they take it and to see how they can fit it into the universe of Godzilla.
So my number 9 is Dunkirk, and I'm really excited because it has to do with World War II, and I really, really love anything that has to do with World War II, no matter what it is. It just seems to always be good. And this one is directed by Christopher Nolan, so here's to Dunkirk that I'm excited for.
My number 9 is War for the Planet of the Apes. This is going to be a really good movie. I don't know if it's the conclusion of the Planet of the Apes movies with Andy Serkis. It looks like it could be, but it's definitely going to be an exciting movie. We got Woody Harrelson joining the cast. He looks like he's going to be a really menacing bad guy. And what's interesting about these movies is we're finally rooting for the apes, because in the Tim Burton one you were rooting for the humans against the apes. So I like the change of focus on these movies, so I'm excited for this one.
Which leads right into my number 8. My number 8 is War for the Planet of the Apes, and for all the reasons Mike just said, it's going to be good.
Yeah.
I like Andy Serkis as an
The
ape.
CGI has been fantastic throughout all these movies.
Plus the mood of the movies, you just can't help but get sucked into it every time.
My number 8 is Justice League. The reason I'm excited about this movie is because I like the grittiness and the dark tone of the DC cinematic universe. The Marvel Cinematic Universe I like better, but this one just feels more gritty and dirty, and I just have some reservations about this because it seems like they're rushing it as opposed to what Marvel did. They kind of took their time and built this universe. DC's just kind of jumping in. So we'll see how this movie turns out.
My number 7 is a movie called The Zookeeper's Wife, and it stars Jessica Chastain, and it too is about World War II in Poland, where Jessica Chastain's character is a zookeeper's wife, and the zoo is out of commission because of the war, and she decides to use it as a safe haven for the Jews that are being taken away to the concentration camps and try to get them to safety. So I think it'll be a little bit more of a depressing film, but I do think that it will be very good, and I hope that they do the book justice, and I'm excited to see it.
My number 7 is Wonder Woman, and it just beats out Justice League because I like the fact that they're focusing on one superhero, and the fact that it looks like the majority of the movie will take place in the World War I era. Which I like. There's a lot of movies about World War II, but not that many about World War I, and I find it interesting. And with the addition of Chris Pine in it, being a pilot who crashes in the ocean near the island where Wonder Woman lives, I think it's going to be pretty cool. It's cool to see the first female superhero, and we're going to get more in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, but this is the first good female superhero movie, in my opinion. Hopefully.
My number 6 is Beauty and the Beast. I think that the way Disney is going and making the beloved characters from the cartoons and putting them to full life has been working so far, and I hope it continues to do so with Beauty and the Beast. I'm excited that Dan Stevens is going to be the Beast. As many of you may know, he is Matthew from Downton Abbey, as well as Edward Ferrars from the BBC version of Sense and Sensibility. So I'm a huge fan of his, and I think it'll be good to see Emma Watson in a different role other than Hermione Granger from the Harry Potter films. But I have my reservations about her. I know she can sing, but a couple days ago I heard a clip of one of the songs from this movie, and it made me a little less excited. So we shall see.
But Luke Evans as Gaston was a brilliant choice.
Oh yes,
That's
I forgot about that too.
So my number 6 is Transformers: The Last Knight. I've said it before, Transformers is kind of a guilty pleasure of mine. They're just blockbuster flicks. You just throw popcorn in your mouth and watch them. You don't expect much plot. They're just exciting action movies, and what I'm most excited about this movie is it looks like they're finally going more of the cartoon route in the sense of story, where it looks like they're introducing Unicron, Hot Rod's going to be in it. It looks like they're going to be expanding the universe, which they started to do in Age of Extinction, but this one's taken it to the next level.
So let's get into our top 5. My number 5 is Gifted, starring Chris Evans, and it comes out in April. And it's about this man who has, I'm not really sure all of the backstory, but he somehow is the guardian to his niece, he has been homeschooling, and then he decides he wants to put her into a school, and she doesn't want to, but then they discover that when she goes into school that she's actually very, very gifted in math. So they try to put her in all these gifted classes, and then she starts to do very complex calculus equations with the big boys in the mathematician's world, wherever that is. But I think there will be some drama to it because the grandma shows up at some point and is trying to push her to her potential while he's trying to live up to his sister's wishes, is that she would be a child. So he wants her to be a kid and to have fun and not be pushed so much into being the gifted kid that she is. So it will be very interesting to see Chris Evans in this role. I think it'll be very, very good.
My number 5 is Spider-Man: Homecoming. After the events of Captain America: Civil War, Spider-Man Peter Parker is trying to prove himself to be an Avenger, and Tony Stark's kind of holding him back, but also helping him take care of the smaller jobs, kind of like how Spider-Man originally starts out in the 2001 version with Tobey Maguire, kind of just taking care of burglars and stuff. But I like the fact that Michael Keaton is going to be a bad guy. I think he's going to be really good. And I love the idea of Spider-Man and Iron Man teaming up. And I can't wait to see the interaction between Robert Downey Jr. and Tom Holland. That just looks like it's going to be a lot of fun.
And to add to that, because Spider-Man is my number 4, I'm really excited to see Spider-Man as a high schooler as opposed to the 30-something Tobey Maguire and the hipster college student Andrew Garfield. So we'll see. I'm excited about this. And I really liked Tom Holland in Civil War. I think he did a really good job as Spider-Man. I just hope that they can upgrade his costume a little bit, his suit, superhero suit. A little bit, because it looked a little cartoonish in Civil War. But I think that, again, taking it to, after Uncle Ben dies, the classic Spider-Man story, and then taking it to now Tony Stark is kind of becoming his father figure, I think is going to be interesting for both characters. So I'm excited to see that.
And my number 4 is Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. The first Guardians of the Galaxy was a huge hit. It was a surprise to everyone. It's kind of Marvel's Star Wars, if you will. and it worked on so many levels. The soundtrack was amazing. I think they're just gonna upgrade it in this one. It looks more fun, looks like they're gonna have some more cool songs in it. Baby Groot, can't go wrong with that. He might be too cute in the movie, but we're just gonna have to wait and see. But this is one that I'm definitely excited about.
So my number 3 is Wonder Woman. I am very, very, very excited to see a very, very cool female superhero. I was very disappointed with both Elektra and Catwoman. I didn't think they were cool. They were just eye candy, let's be honest. They were just eye candy. And Wonder Woman is both eye candy and badass. So it's like the coolest thing ever. Not to mention she's very, very feminine, like true feminine. True feminine. So I am just really, really excited about this movie. I think it's going to be great. I think she is going to be great. I think Chris Evans is going to be great. It's just going to be great.
My number 3 is Thor Ragnarok. The other 2 Thor movies have been kind of subpar to all the other Marvel movies. I'd place them kind of near the bottom. But this one I think could be really good because they're starting to combine the characters. And Hulk, Mark Ruffalo, is going to be in this movie. It looks like they might go the Planet Hulk route. I'm not a comic book reader, but I've heard about this. It's kind of like the gladiator matches, and Hulk is part of that, and he's got this really cool armor. If they go that route, that'll be really cool to watch. But I'm just excited to see where they go with this. I've heard that this movie is going to be a huge stepping stone for Phase 4, I think, Phase 3, whatever phase they're going to be on. But it's going to be a huge lead up to Avengers Infinity War. And that sounds really cool to me.
So my number 2 is Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. Like everything Mike said, I'm really excited about it. I think it's going to be a really, really fun movie to just go and enjoy. Doesn't have to be a whole lot of, intrigue or plot twists and turns. It's just going to be a good movie with a lot of really fun characters and lots of really good soundtracks. So I'm excited about it.
My number 2 is Power Rangers. I'm excited about this movie, but I'm also scared about it. I grew up watching Power Rangers, mainly just Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, a little bit of Zeo, and I hated Turbo. And anything after that, I just didn't want to waste my time with it. But I'm excited about this movie because it looks like it's going to be a good Power Rangers movie, at least a more gritty version. I mean, it's got some big names in it. Bryan Cranston, Elizabeth Banks as Rita. I mean, those names alone should get people in the theater. And I just like the idea of rebooting the franchise in a cinematic sense instead of constantly rehashing it on TV. And I like that Saban is actually behind it, and it's not just an offshoot company that's producing it on their own. So it will have all the same names. I still don't know where Bulk and Skull are, but we'll see. I'm excited about it. I think it's going to be cool.
So now we come down to it, our number 1 pick, and we happen to have the same number 1 as I'm sure a lot of our viewers. This is probably your number 1 most anticipated movie of 2017, and that is
Star Wars Episode 8. And we still don't know the subtitle to it.
Don't know?
It's kind of frustrating because we knew the Episode 7 subtitle more than a year in advance. So we're still waiting on that. But
yes,
obviously we're excited about this movie. Tons of people around the world are excited for this movie.
Don't want it to be overhyped.
No.
But I loved Rogue One, and if they can come in anywhere near to Rogue One, I will be so happy.
Yeah.
And I think that hopefully because they don't have a title and they're still reworking some things, that they're just taking more time to dedicate to developing the movie.
Yes.
So
They actually delayed this movie. It was supposed to come out in May of this year, and they delayed it till December, which I was kind of bummed about because I wanted a Star Wars movie sooner. But if they're going to do everything right, I would much rather wait a little bit longer to see them done the way they want it to be done. And I'm excited to see Benicio del Toro in a Star Wars movie. I still don't know what character he's going to be. I've heard that he's going to be a Sith type of character. But I'm really excited to see where they're going to take Luke and Rey and their journey and her training, and I don't know how it's going to go down.
I think it's because literally we have no expectations we have no idea of what the plot is going to hold, because it's completely new Star Wars. It's an open, completely blank slate that they can take and be creative with, and take these characters that we hope they'll develop more and just bring them into a totally really, really cool Star Wars movie. So we'd like to give you guys just a little bit of our honorable mentions that didn't quite make it up to our top 10, but movies that we're still pretty interested in seeing.
Just almost made the cut. Those movies are Alien Covenant, Wonder, Life, Logan, and Kingsman: The Golden Circle. These movies just almost made it into our list, but weren't quite good enough, in our opinions. So here's another list of 5 movies that we're just not really looking forward to. In our opinions, they just don't look good at all. One of them being Pirates of the Caribbean, Dead Men Tell No Tales. They should have stopped at 1, and then they made a second one, and they needed to make a third one after that. That's when they definitely should have stopped, but they made a 4th one that I thought was not good at all, and now they're making a 5th one to just keep beating that dead horse.
The next one we're just not interested in seeing is The Mummy with Tom Cruise. After watching the trailer, I was like, really? You can't beat Brendan Fraser in The Mummy. Tom Cruise can't be that funny, likable character. He's just kind of a... So...
It just looks like an action movie.
Yeah, and I really have no interest in seeing it at all.
Another movie we're not looking forward to is Blade Runner 2049. We watched Blade Runner a couple of years ago. I didn't like it. I fell asleep for a couple minutes, and it was boring to me. I know that's gonna come like with a lot of flack, but I didn't like that movie. And now they're making a sequel. The only thing that could be good about it is the director. It's the same director who directed Arrival, Denis Villeneuve, and that could be a good thing for this franchise that they're trying to keep alive.
So let's talk about the movie Monster Trucks. Now, this could be a good movie for kids, I think. But being a teacher of 6-year-olds, I don't think the kids are even going to like it. It looks really, really dumb. Yeah. And what more can I say? It looks dumb.
My question is, they delayed this movie. It was supposed to come out last year. Why did they delay it for? Better special effects, different story, who knows? Reshoots, didn't need it. It's going to be garbage, I think, but yeah.
We could be very wrong.
We could be very wrong.
But I doubt it.
I hope we are wrong, but probably not. So the last movie that we're not really looking forward to, and it's not because it looks like a bad movie necessarily, it's just too soon, and that's Patriots Day with Mark Wahlberg. It's about the Boston Marathon bombing. It's too soon. It happened 3-4 years ago, and it's just too soon.
I don't know if they took enough time to be respectful of the families of those that were lost, and yeah, I just think it's a little too soon.
So those are our top 10 movies that we're excited about for 2017. What are some movies that you guys are excited about? Let us know in the comments section below.
And if you like this video, be sure to subscribe and follow us on Twitter. And as always, thanks for watching.